Now to Liberal Senator Sarah Henderson, who joins us in Melbourne. Sarah, you're a former ABC journalist. You're also a former Shadow Communications Minister. What is your view now of what's been revealed about the ABC? And another transgression today involving your colleague, Senator Jane Hume. And as I showed there, yet more clips where that speech is cut up to create that impression of Trump encouraging violence.
Well, Chris, good afternoon. And I'm really shocked about what you have uncovered in relation to the Four Corners documentary and the way in which President Trump's speech was improperly edited. I think this is now so serious because, of course, I remind everyone that the ABC has a statutory obligation to report news and information impartially and accurately. There have been too many times when it has breached that obligation. And I think it's got so serious, Chris, that we need a Senate inquiry into these really serious incidents because at the end of the day, Australians want to see the ABC deliver the very highest standards of journalism, and clearly that is not happening.
Will you move for a Senate inquiry, and will it be specific into these instances or a broader inquiry?
Well, I'll work with my colleagues on the terms of reference, but I will be pursuing a Senate select inquiry into the obligation of the ABC to convey news and information impartially and accurately. And for many years, Chris, I've been prosecuting the case when the ABC has fallen short of these standards. And again, we saw it with Jane Hume. I cannot believe that a flagship news and current affairs program like Insiders has doctored a photograph of Jane holding up the front page of a newspaper and then referred to this as being satire, as if they're running a comedy program. I mean, this is extraordinary, and it's a long way from when I worked at the ABC. When I worked on a current affairs program for the ABC, we took our obligations very, very seriously, and we've really seen standards slip in some pretty serious ways, Chris, and that's why I will be pursuing a Senate inquiry.
What do you think the chances are of getting that up?
Well, I don't have a lot of faith in the Greens. They have continually failed to hold the ABC to account when it does, of course, undertake these sorts of transgressions, as we've seen time and time again. And I don't have a lot of faith in the government. But frankly, I now think that because this is so serious, it involves the distortion of a speech by President Trump. There have been very, very serious consequences for the BBC. The President is now threatening legal action against the BBC. And I think for our relationship with the United States administration, it's really important we take this seriously. So I'm really hoping that the government will provide the support that we require to get a Senate inquiry up. This is, as I say, a really serious incident. And the obligations on the ABC to report impartially and accurately are also serious. But too many times the Albanese government has failed to hold the ABC to account when it's fallen short of those very high standards. And that's why I think a Senate inquiry is so important.
I want to go to the meeting that the Liberals are holding in Canberra tomorrow to try and finalise a climate and energy policy. One member, Phil Thompson, was complaining today about the timing. Here he is today on Remembrance Day.
On such an important day that I've now can't spend it with loved ones, my friends whose families of my mates who have been killed in action, those who've lost people most important to them because they've got to get on a bloody plane to fly back to Canberra to talk about something that we should have resolved months ago. I think it's a big kick in the guts, mate, and it's a sad day for me. But I'm hoping that we can resolve this. Defence taught me one thing: be a team player, and I don't think we've seen that of late. We've seen now people threaten to quit positions and throw all their toys out of the cot. Once again, the Liberal Party talking about itself, and to those people who want to threaten to quit, then quit. You're not that important anyway. We need to get on with the job.
Phil Thompson there, obviously an Army veteran himself. We've got to sympathise with him for having to leave those Remembrance Day events and head to Canberra for this event tomorrow. But let's pick up on his point there, Sarah, about how should have been resolved months ago. It has been dragging on. Are you confident it will be resolved tomorrow? And is this position going to closely match the Nationals' position? Because if there's divergence there, the coalition is in all sorts of strife.
Well, Chris, I believe we are moving in the right direction, and that is to reject net zero in its entirety. This is a disastrous policy. Australians have seen the fruits of Labor's policies for the last 3 years: skyrocketing power prices, flatlining emissions. We're making no difference to global emissions, and of course, families and small businesses and manufacturers are suffering so enormously as a result of these policies. So I am really hopeful that we will reject net zero in its entirety. It's a very economically and environmentally destructive policy, and I am very pleased that we are coming together tomorrow. Of course, this won't be resolved until there is a joint party room meeting virtually being held on Sunday, so there's a few days to go. And I have to say, Chris, I do really empathise with those members and senators, particularly the day before Remembrance Day, when they've got to leave those really important events to travel to Canberra. Phil lives in Townsville. He's got a long way to travel. I'm jumping on a plane tonight, so I was able to attend a commemorative service today. But I do commend Susan for bringing us all together. This could not drag on any longer. We need a policy to show that we are going to fight like tooth and nail for the Australian people. We've got to fight Labor's terrible, terrible energy policies, and I am really pleased this is coming to a head.
Thanks for joining us, Sarah. I appreciate it.